Carnival, and what about Brown Park or Marley Brown Oval? Throw them in the ring for Origin 1? Anywhere in Queensland for Game 1, that'd be good. Yeah.
I like that.
Alright, so this after the break, Livio joins us with all the weather details, and Scott Hillier has our fishing report as well.
Livio, Regano with tonight's weather. Showers have contracted to far north Queensland, and that's where they'll stay until Sunday before spreading south again. Meanwhile, the state's about to get hit by some cold winds and frosty mornings. Today turned out quite warm across central Queensland, with many stations reaching the top of the 20s range, but tomorrow morning could be a different story, so get rugged up. Let's go to the satellite loop first. The state's almost dry now. A couple of places where showers are still lingering. The far north tropical coast, especially around Mossman and Cape Tribulation, and also one or two just around Fraser Island, which might return, but in general things are going pretty dry now. On today's chart, we've just got a cold front that's left the coast and moved out off the coast of New South Wales into the Tasman Sea, and the next big high is pushing this cool, dry, wintry air mass into Queensland. We've also got a hazardous surf warning for Fraser and Sunshine Coast beaches emanating from a low that's way off towards New Zealand. Now on tomorrow's chart, we get a strong wind warning for southern waters as the isobars really compact and that high moves against a deepening low in the Tasman Sea, and by the following day the cold air will move right up into the tropics with widespread frost. Now the latest from the Weather Bureau, the boating forecast for Capricornia waters, south to southeast winds at 15 to 20 knots tomorrow on a rising swell up to 2.5 metres. Then on Saturday, Sunday, we've got strong force winds, 20 to 30 knots from the southeast. We're currently experiencing one of the highest astronomical tides of the year with that supermoon, coupled with a second pulse of rising swell. The late night high tide is going to be huge. Capricornia district forecast, a sunny day after some frost in the southwest near Billawheeler. Gladstone 26 degrees, Rocky 26 as well after a low of 10, Billawheeler 3 to 24, and Yeppoon 23. The central highlands and Goldfields, some early frost but then sunny, with Emerald reaching 24 degrees after a low of 7, Claremont 23, Moranbah again 24. Looking ahead for Rocky, a chilly weekend coming up with temperatures in that typical midwinter range. Even though it's still May, serious cloud cover probably won't return until the middle of next week. Everyone's talking about last night's lunar eclipse, so here's a quick explanation of how they work. During its 28-day cycle, the moon periodically moves into rough alignment with the Earth and Sun, presenting us its bright side, which we call the full moon. Now, on rare occasions, this alignment is so perfect, the moon passes directly into the Earth's shadow, which sweeps a pathway of rusty red darkness across the moon. This darkness last night fell upon Queensland, revealing a total lunar eclipse. And that's it for this evening, folks. And now it's over to Scott with the fishing report.
Yeah, good on you, champ. Looks like rivers and creeks are going for those keen to wet along with strong winds forecast and cool conditions. This is going to see that water temperature continue to drop. Here's a couple of tips. Now, those mud crabs are still being caught by those set pots overnight using fresh bait, with most crabs at the moment nice and full. Now, the bream are loving these cooler conditions, and with the moon on the way, this will definitely fire them up, with all areas with a bit of structure holding a few fish. Now, the flathead have been pretty good at the moment too on the making tide, caught by those trolling small hard-bodied lures along the flats or casting small soft plastics along the drop-offs. Now, check this out. Gun-young local jockey Bailey Notiff trolled with a small hard-bodied lure and was rewarded with a nice flathead. Great fish, Bailey. Now, a little tip, if you are planning on chasing a few flathead and you're lucky enough to get a couple, just make sure you handle them with a wet cloth, because they've got sharp spines all around their head. And if you are chasing more fishing action, join me Saturday 5:30 for Creek to Coast. We're fishing down off Yamba and we get stuck into a couple of big kingfish. See you next week.
And a reminder, of course, you can watch our news anytime on 7 Plus or catch up on our page on 7news.com.au. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Good night.
Good night.